Everybody, we are back. You guys already know it's Taped Online, your favorite Raiders podcast, favorite Raiders channel, favorite Raiders everything. You already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also, follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL for me, at mholder95 for a match. All right, and also Panda Subs, TDL 35% off. So we are here with the film review show. This is our first film review show of the year, week one. It comes off a Raiders win 17-16. So we're going to go over a couple things. Matt's going to go over the defensive line, and Nate Hobbs, I believe, if I'm correct there, right?
That is correct.
All right. And then I'm going to go over the offensive line and the Raiders in the red zone. So that's going to be running the football in the red zone and passing in the red zone, because they still went a little bit of 50% there. So there's still a little bit of an issue there. You can't do that all year. You can't go 50% all year. You're not going to win a lot of games, right? That's how it is. That's how it was last year. They were around last year they tanked. They're like 42% to end the year. So they're kind of around the same. So we're going to deep dive into what they're doing over there on the red zone side of the football. But first, talk about our initial thoughts of the film. I know you didn't get too much to see too much of the offensive side, Matt, but I saw both sides. Just start with the defense. What did you think of the defensive side of the ball? You know, they only gave up 16 points. How did you feel about them?
Yeah, I mean, like we were talking about a little bit before this, I definitely think the defensive tackles can step it up. I mean, no secret that another defensive lineman other than Max Crosby needs to kind of step their game up and continue to, or can kind of grow, especially as a pass rusher. We'll get into those clips. Guys got to start winning more one-on-one blocks if the Raiders are going to be successful in that department. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a pretty good game defensively. I mean, always a good time when you can keep the team to 16 points. Never can be too mad about that. Thought Nate Hobbs played really well. Dive into a little bit of his new role, kind of a hybrid between the last two, playing some nickel corner and some box safety. I mean, the Raiders, for the most part, I don't really remember them playing much base at all. I know Masterson got a few reps as that third linebacker, but even when the Broncos went in some heavy personnel, they kept Nate Hobbs on the field. And tell you what, man, he had a heck of a game. We'll dive into it a little bit more later, but he showed up, and definitely think it was a package that he can keep on using. We'll see how it works against the Bills, but he was surprising me a little bit with how he's able to take on blocks and whatnot. So definitely a good showing for Hobbs, especially for a guy that struggled last year a little bit and needed a bounce back game. This was exactly what he needed to start the season.
Yeah. I thought Nate Hobbs, kind of was playing that linebacker role. You saw a little bit versus the Rams, and I thought that was super interesting where he was up in the box, and that's exactly what he came out, this game. I actually started charting the defense a little bit. I charted the whole offense, so I already finished that part of it. But defense, I got to it a little bit, but I didn't end up finishing it. But they played a lot of quarters. So I feel like that's why they brought in Marcus Epps. Cover 3, they played a lot of quarters. Only got 16 plays in, but they were playing a lot of quarters.
Graham definitely went back to his. Dan Griffin went back to his zone tendencies this game. Towards the end of the year, it was running more man, but it was a lot of zone, a lot of quarters, like you said, and there was quite a bit of cover 3 too, so or at least a little bit, good amount.
Yeah, a good amount of cover 3 too, a lot of it. So a good mixture of quarters and cover 3, and but that was kind of the reason they brought in Epps, and I felt like Morey was a little bit more comfortable, kind of kept him out of coverage a little bit, because I think one time they had a little bit of a man coverage situation down the red zone. He got beat pretty bad. So as long as he kind of keep him in zone, he can just read and react. I think he's a little bit better there. So what did you think of the linebackers? I thought the linebackers looked pretty damn good. I thought Diablo actually played pretty well in the run. He was, but it's Blaine played okay. But pass coverage, Diablo is pretty solid. So what did you think of those guys?
Yeah, I thought Diablo had one of his best games as a Raider. He had a heck of a play again on the goal line to kind of help seal the win. The one where he got the late sell out with the 2-hand bat. That was an awesome play to see from him. I mean, a guy that we talked about it. I'm pretty sure we had a show earlier before the season talking about where he needed to grow. I mean, he looked every bit the part right there. And then Diablo or Spillane, thought he had a bunch of nice plays. Only had one missed tackle. That was a 1-1 knock on him, but again, was making plays, shooting gaps. Again, I thought he had a heck of a game, like you said. So definitely a good showing from a lot of guys that I felt like needed to get off on the right foot especially between Diablo and Hobbs.
Yeah, especially the linebacker group. When you saw them play, it was like, okay, you're worried about them. You're really hoping some growth from those. From that group, from that core. And we saw Masterson kind of play side to side a couple of plays. He made a really good play on a crack toss. So there's some good plays up there over there from the linebacker group overall. So I was really kind of excited to see that, but they don't get any pass rush. I mean, that was kind of the thing. I know you're going to get into the D line, but it doesn't matter what the linebackers, the groups, or the secondary. These guys are moving around and they're making all these plays back there. If they ain't getting no pressure, man.
And that was the frustrating thing too. And we'll get into it. I have both clips lined up for us to take a look into, but like the 2 touchdowns the Broncos had were off scramble drills where the pass rush just didn't hit home. And I mean, Travon Mary loses his guy once, but at some point, like, the pass rush has got to get there. We can't cover all day. You know what I mean? And like, we'll go like just a lot of stuff where I'm like getting into it, or without getting into it too much, where they really need that second guy to step up, like you said, like to finally get some pressure, because teams are going to start sliding the protection of Max Crosby's way a lot more if things don't change in a hurry.
Yeah, because I mean, even like Tyree Wilson, I mean, he was getting killed by Baldy. Baldy just went off on him. He just had a feast on him. So you saw how that went, and then Jerry Tillery, he was getting pushed around. He ended up getting a sack, but he was getting pushed around a little bit, playing defensive end.
Jerry Tillery's sack was because of the coverage unit.
Oh yes, that's what I'm saying. There were great coverage in the back end on that one. That was a great quarters coverage. You saw Moreg. Yeah, it was. That's what I'm talking about. It was the secondary and the linebacker group. You're like, okay, maybe, but then the defensive line is like, just ruined all of it, to be honest. Because even watching Bennett, he's so fast, right? So it's hard to beat him deep. And then you see Marcus Epstein's playing really fast. So Moreg was playing really fast this game. Yeah, very like reading and reacting, because he wasn't have to play man-to-man coverage. He's just playing zone. And you saw Diablo read and react. There was a lot of positive from the secondary and pass coverage. It's just you got to worry about if they play some strong run teams, it's going to be difficult. And then if they can't get any pass rush against like a Josh Allen or Justin Herbert, it's going to be over. So it doesn't even matter.
What those guys live for, and Pat Mahomes too. Like they live for you to not hit home with your pass rush. They'd almost rather you have not hit home with the pass rush and let the turn it into the off script play than do something within the structure. Like, you know what I mean? Like those are going to thrive, and that's where we're concerned about the Raiders going into this week, because again, that's going to feed right into what Josh Allen wants to do. Like, he shouldn't take a check down in this game if they're going to play like that again, because he'll find someone eventually.
Yeah, he's going to find somewhere to escape too. So they're going to have to find a way to contain him, because they couldn't contain Russell Wilson at all. All right, so the offensive side of the ball, I thought the offense was inconsistent. There's some moments that they look really good. Some moments they look like this is their first time playing together. I mean, that's kind of what it looked like to me. I thought Jimmy Garoppolo had a lot of instances where it was his first time running this offense in 7 years, where he was kind of like, where do I go with the football? So he would just run. Like, kind of the last play. A lot of people talking about him missing Hunter Renfrow on that one, which he really did. But it was more like, how do I read this out? Do I stay patient? Do I trust his offensive line? And he would just bail out. Right, and some of the plays he would just miss some guys doing those couple of those things and not fully reading things and kind of being late, and those type of things where it's your first time in offense in a long time. And then they really couldn't run the ball, because I feel like Johnson didn't have a really good game, but I feel like the offensive line didn't get any push in the run game, but they didn't get beat a lot. Yeah, so it was interesting to watch that. But in pass protection, though, they were fantastic. And I thought Myers was great. Not Myers. Jacoby Myers. He was really good. Of course, Devontae Adams was Devontae Adams. And, I thought the offense played the passing protection was just so good, which I'm going to go over. It was just, I was like, wow, if these guys block like this all year, man.
Yeah, I feel like what you're talking, like everything you're saying, like that's kind of like they picked up right where they left off a little bit, right? Like last year, like I felt like that was what the thing with their run blocking is, like they weren't getting beat, but they weren't like moving people, and then Jacobs was able to create a little bit, and then obviously in pass protection they were pretty stout last year, and So it sounds like it's a little bit more of the same.
Yeah. I mean, even better. I think Van Roden coming in there made it even better. You know, I know PFF had him with 4 pressures. I had him with 5. But you know, they didn't have a lot of blown blocks. All right, Matt. What are we gonna do? Let's do this defensive line first. Let's go and show this defense. I think the defense kind of
get rolling with the trenches.
Yeah, let's start. Let's go with the trenches here. Let's start there. Let's go ahead. Let's do this.
Sweet. So, like I was talking about, one of the big things that was kind of irking me a little bit about this game is the Raiders' defensive tackles were struggling quite a bit against the run. Like here, we're going to see we got John Jenkins over here on the what was that? Defense's right, below Nichols on the left, excuse me. And the Broncos are going to run outside zone. So we got a combo block here where they're working up to Spillane, and then a scoop block here where they're going to try and scoop Nichols and then go pick up Diablo. And we'll see. Now, a lot of people have been in my mentions saying this is on Spillane. Let me tell you this. When your defensive tackles get pushed into basically out towards the hashes, you're asking quite a bit of Robert Spillane to come up here, come downhill, and take on this block from this guard who's coming off to come get him, and try and tackle this guy Javonte Williams in the backfield. Because if Spillane clashes downhill right now, one of two things is going to happen. Either Cushenberry's going to come off and just get a quick chip on him and knock him out of the way, or Javonte Williams is going to put one foot in the ground and go up the gut and make a miss. So this is kind of the big problem with it. And we see right here, Spillane gets, like I said, that center comes off and gets him. I mean, we can't have our defensive tackles wider than our 2 defensive ends on the plays. I don't care if it's a double team or not. That's kind of welcome to playing defensive line in the NFL, bud. And this is, to me, this was really an issue with, or kind of most concerning with Jenkins, because this is what you're in the game here for, dude. We got to have you be a solid gap filler and playing that Jonathan Hankins, Andrew Billings type of role. And I mean, we just can't have that. So one of the big things moving forward, got to have improved. All right. And then this one, I think I brought this up in the post-game show, our instant reaction show. So this play right here, again, Broncos run outside zone. And right here, we got it plugged up pretty perfectly, right? We got Bilal Nichols. They have a little miscommunication, the right guard and the right center, and he comes free. Max Crosby's the unblocked defender. We got Jenkins. This time we're in the one-on-one block, holding our gap. Spillane doing his fine job too. And hey, Jerry Tillery's doing a pretty good job setting the edge, making Williams think he's got to cut it up. But then we get greedy. We got Jerry Tillery ducking inside, trying to make the play himself. And Williams ends up being able to get to the outside. And we lose contain here. Merritt probably can be a little bit more aggressive on this one and come shoot the hip right here outside. But what should have been, let's see, 0 to maybe 2 yard gain ends up going for, I think this one ended up going for a gain of 7. So that one was just frustrating for me because it's like, man, right here, we got everything perfect, right? We got everything blocked up. The fit's working how it should be, but one guy ducks inside, tries to get greedy, and Williams is off to the races for a chunk gain. All right, which one we got here? All right, moving on to some pass rush. This is a little bit of what I was talking about earlier. So the Raiders are going to run a ET stunt where Crosby's going to crash in and Nichols is going to loop around. And the stunt, to me, I mean, this is perfect. This is what you're looking for right here, right? We get Crosby taking the tackle with him to the inside, and then Nichols has the edge against the guard. Now he gets a chip here, which, okay, that makes it tougher. But the problem is he starts to spin back inside, and now we lose outside contain. Now Russell Wilson's going to miss this throw. But, I mean, if he hits Javonte Williams in the chest right here, that's probably a first down. Makes this guy miss, maybe Spillane here too. That's trouble. And that's where I'm kind of talking about a little bit of, if you're below Nichols, you got to know your rules here. Just stay outside. At the very least, keep Russell Wilson in the pocket. But when we let him get out like this, especially against a guy like Josh Allen who likes to make those plays, that's going to be an even bigger problem. And here's one of the 2 plays we were alluding to earlier. It's going to be one of the Broncos' touchdowns. They run the play action fake here, but no offensive lineman is even faking the run, so there's no reason why anyone shouldn't be getting into their pass rush moves. But we have one guy doing it, and his name is Max Crosby. And Crosby probably needs to stay a little more disciplined here too.
Yeah.
And not go inside because, again, we lose outside contain. I mean, got a one-on-one block here. Don't win. Got a double team here, so Jenkins a little bit excused. Isaac Rochelle doesn't win his. I mean, I don't even know if he works a move. Also scrambles out, and we hit the guy in the back of the end zone.
He has a great TikTok, though, man. Great TikTok page.
It is a nice TikTok. It is. It is. All right, same thing here. Got the second touchdown here. Almost the same play call. A little play action fake with or token ball fake. Malcolm Kuntz in the game instead of Rochelle. And 1,001, 1,002, 1,003. Oh, now he's moving. We'll back this up. Start the counter. Let's see. 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, 1,004, 1,005 till he starts moving. And again, we can't ask Marcus Epps to cover this guy for 5-6 seconds from the back of the end zone. So again, kind of the two common themes with the Raiders in the red zone last week is the biggest thing is someone's got to hit home and someone's got to win their one-on-one matchups in pass protection. Because, oh, no, this is the Tyree Wilson play. All right. So I'm not going to harp on this guy too much because Baldy already did that enough for us, and plenty of people on Raiders Twitter pointed this out.
That was the funniest thing I saw this morning.
What are we doing? I mean, got to get out of our stance for one. And I get it. He's gassed. He didn't play much in training camp. Had training wheels on him when he did practice, and he's playing in a high altitude. So a lot of things working against him here. So I understand that he's huffing and puffing and doing anything he can for air. But then on top of it, he gets like this right about here. He's like expecting the chip to come or something, and the running back doesn't give him any sort of indication. And that's just an easy block for Garrett Bowles. That's the easiest block Garrett Bowles had all game. Who, I'll be honest, had a pretty rough showing on Sunday. Mm-hmm. So that's all I have to say about Tyree Wilson. Again, enough people are on him that I don't need to compound the issue. But here's where we're going on. Here's where I'm going. And here's my biggest concern moving forward, because this is what teams are going to start doing to the Raiders if they're not winning one-on-one blocks. So Raiders here, we got a little nub tight end here with the believe that's a natural tight end too up on the slot and the line. Mm-hmm. And they're going to slide the protection left, get a chip with the tight end on Crosby, and sliding the protection left is going to let this guard go help the tackle on, again, Raiders one pass rusher. We'll give Bilal Nichols a little bit of some leeway here because the guard is helping him. The guard is helping the center on him. Went too far back, too far forward. Far forward, and apologies guys, technical difficulties.
You get
all right. So I'll give Bilal Nichols a little bit of a break here because he is kind of getting, attacking the guard, and then the center comes to come help him. So he does get a little bit of double team, but even so, I would think him as a veteran would know he can work to this side of the center and get that one-on-one matchup. Probably not going to get the sack, but could maybe at least flush Russell Wilson out of the pocket. Mm-hmm. I mean, Byron Young. And we got Jerry Tillery on the outside here. I mean, someone's got to win. Someone's got to win. And no one does. And the ball, they were damn lucky Philip Dorsett had no idea where he was on the sideline, because this might have been a touchdown if he makes Ja'Cory Bennett miss there, or at least a big game. But moving on, I did want to show a few clips where, the Raiders doing the right things and the Raiders defensive line was playing well, because it wasn't all bad. Like I said, like on this rep, another outside zone, a little toss zone here. Max Crosby's going to slant and work across the tight end's face, win to the inside. We got, who is that back there? I missed that. Believe that's Bilal Nichols. Oh, no, that's John Jenkins doing a great job winning at the point of attack against Quinn Miners, not letting him get up to the second level, keeping him at the line of scrimmage, and eventually working off the block to go get involved in the play. That's what we want to see from John Jenkins. That's why you're brought in here. And then two, give Bilal Nichols some credit, running his feet, avoiding getting reached. And that running back's got nowhere to go, and Crosby's able to get held and still make the TFL. This is how a run fit's supposed to look, right? We got Spillane here. We'll see this play again when we're talking about Nate Hobbs. Does a great job setting the edge versus the tight end. We got Malcolm Kuntz as the unblocked defender, just in case anyone needs there. So that's what we want to see. We got all four defensive linemen near the ball. moving forward. So we got to see more of that one. What's this one? Oh, same thing here. Malcolm Kuntz. Decent job, your boy over here, Marcus. Decent job setting the edge.
I'll take let him start, man. Let him start. I'm telling you, just let him start.
That's my other takeaway that we're gonna go over in a second, man. I think Malcolm Kuntz needs to play some more because, I mean, not the greatest thing here, not the greatest rep here, but hey, we'll take this against the outside zone. That's gonna force P. Ryan to cut back up. Byron Young this time. First, initially looked a little bad, but he stays in his gap. Same here. All right, and then the same thing with John Jenkins here, being that space eater in the middle, and again, that the Raiders need him to be. And Max Crosby's the unblocked defender. Running back cuts right into him. Easiest play Crosby made all day. Now, here's a big reason why I think Kuntz needs to get some playing time. And I saw you sharing these clips over there on Twitter there, Marcus. Stealing my thunder a little bit here, but see on this one, Crosby's going to get the sack, goes right through McGlinchey's chest. But I mean, the only difference is Garrett Bowles did a better job of staying on his feet than Mike McGlinchey did. I mean, that's a heck of a rush right there. That's a guy that needs more playing time because, again, we're going to see it here too. Basically the same play. Goes right back into that speed to power and is able to get in Wilson's lap as he throws this ball. Same thing with Crosby. That's the complementary pass rush that the Raiders are looking for. Although, do you have to tip your cap there to Russell Wilson? That was a nice throw. Like, if the Raiders can create this type of pocket against Josh Allen, they'll be in business all night. And what is this? We got Jenkins over here winning with the bull rush. I didn't even notice that full time. Yep, there we go. Against Ben Powers too. That's a heck of a rep. So
there you go.
That's what we need to see more of. Unfortunately, those plays were rare. But again, I think you put Kuntz in the game more, you get a few more pressures and a little bit more help from Max Crosby. Do you want to chime in on the defensive line, Marcus, before we move on to Nate Hobbs?
We'll talk about it in the back end.
Sounds good. All right. So moving on to Nate Hobbs, like I was saying in the intro, he was playing a lot more as like an extra linebacker, as a strong safety type in this game. Did play some nickel here, but I mean, we got the Broncos in 12 personnel here. So we got 2 tight ends. He's staying in the game. Broncos are going to run a screen to the running back here. And this is what I love about this play. Is first of all, he sniffs it out, right? He reads the screen, starts to come downhill, then realizes, hey, I'm 215 pounds soaking wet. This dude's 320 pounds. That math equation doesn't work out. If I go full speed into this guy's chest, he's going to eat me alive every time. But if I vary my speed and use my athleticism, know how I'm built a little bit, I can run past him and accelerate and then go make that TFL right there. Williams almost comes to balance, but hey, we'll take that. Love this rep from Nate Hobbs here. See him from the end zone angle. Another great play from him. Would like to see him to be a little bit better with the tackling and not dive with the ankles, but hey, we'll take that against those guys. All right, moving on. Ooh, I like this. This was one where he's up in the box again. Now, Marcus, correct me if I'm wrong. This is duo with the lead, correct?
Yes, it is.
Duo with the cross lead here. So I will say I think he probably gets a little bit too far inside right about here. I mean, he's up into Spillane's gap and outside of it, but it ends up working in his favor. And what I do like is that he's showing color to the inside because that's going to force is this Dulcich, I believe, the tight end blocking down on him to stay on his 45-degree angle. And then 2, what we were just talking about, know how you're built, work around the block, use your athleticism, and go make that TFL. Another nice play from him. I will say Dulcich isn't known for his blocking, but this is a heck of a play for Hobbs. And again, we're keeping him to 1, maybe no yard gain.
Yeah, he's a damn corner.
Yeah, exactly. Corner. And I mean, we're going to see a great example of it on this one. Right now, if you're the Broncos, you're loving this look, right? We got 12 personnel in the game again, and we got a tight end blocking a corner, a natural corner against outside zone. What you're hoping for, even if he doesn't seal him to the inside, is he just pushes him out wide. But Nate Hobbs comes up, uses his hands. Love the extension that he's getting here. Again, a corner versus a tight end. Don't mean to say this is a devastating play or a highlight reel type that we're going to see from Nate Hobbs. But he's getting extension, and that is a set edge. Running back has to cut it up right into the defensive line. We got all 4 guys there. So yeah, another, again, not trying to paint this out to be, something Nate Hobbs is going to put on the highlight reel at the end of the season. But hey, for a guy that's playing the guy that's a natural corner and playing his first game at safety, that's a heck of a run fit right there to force that back up. All right. Let's see which one we got here. Ooh, little pass rush for you. This time they're going to send him off the edge. Again, 12 personnel. Again, 12 personnel still in the game. Tight end works across the formation to block him. He does an excellent job winning around the edge. If you notice, Russell Wilson now throws it to Javonte Williams, who's not even looking on a two-man route. And the other thing that I really liked about this play is not to pick on Jacorian Bennett here, but if we watch him.
Yeah, I was watching that.
That is wide ass open in the NFL, and it's one-on-one. Oh, yes, we got Epps back there too to maybe save the day. But that's a big play if Nate Hobbs isn't there to come force the ball out. We'll see it from the end zone angle, get a little bit better view. His bend on this was nice too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an efficient angle right there. And again, you can see Wilson, his clock has to speed up a little bit because there's pressure coming.
Yeah.
And Javonte's not even looking for the ball. We'll take that. It's a forced incompletion. Another screen here against this one. Now, Dolchich doesn't do a good job blocking, but what I do like, again, we're stiffing it out. We're reading the play. We're realizing, oh, this guy's outside releasing because he's going to block. Put our foot in the ground, change direction, and go make that tackle. Gotta love that from Nate Hobbs again. Got its natural corner coming up and creating a thud, and that ended up forcing the Broncos to punt on fourth down on that one. Another play off the edge here. Again, notice the common theme. Knows how he's built. Got the tight end working. This time they're running counter, and they're trying to give the tight end a head start by putting him into motion. Hobbs, nice little shoulder dip, uses athleticism. And two, for a guy, again, that's not used to playing the run or not used to playing the run this close to the line of scrimmage in the box, it's an excellent job of coming flat down the line after you win. It's a piece of Williams, and that's just enough for Epps to come clean it up. I mean, again, these are plays that, for what you're looking at from a guy that's new to this position, this is pretty damn impressive. Again, Epps comes and cleans it up. Broncos, I believe that forced a punt or put the Broncos behind the sticks in this situation. This one will get some quarters for you here, Marcus. More traditional play that we'd come to know and love from Nate Hobbs. Gets the out from the running back, stays deep so he can fulfill his own assignments. As soon as Russell Wilson's starting to throw, we're already breaking on it. Ball's out, and we're right there to make a great open field tackle against a guy that's pretty damn good at making people miss in the open field. Last year, he was some of the most missed tackles forced via PFF among running backs. Again, nice little form tackle, open field, and now it's 3rd and 3. Hell of a play. All right, we'll end here. Which one is this one? Oh yeah, so we'll end here. Raiders tip their hand a little bit. Get the with the blitz. The line comes up. Heady play by him. They end up not needing. They end up not needing Hobbs in coverage since they have the 2-on-2 here. So they send him off the blitz. Guard doesn't pick it up. Comes flat down the line once again. We get a TFL on the Broncos' last drive of the game to put them behind schedule. So watch it one more time. Hobbs gets the blitz. And 2, again, flat down the line. Like, that's something that seems pretty easy, seems pretty trivial. But for a lot of guys, even defensive linemen can struggle with this when they're not used to doing it. I mean, again, another hell of a play where now it's 2nd and 11 when the Broncos need to drive down the field to go score. So clutch play in a clutch situation there. Yeah,
man. All right, man. Yeah, so Nate Hobbs looks like he had a pretty damn good game in a new role. Basically, I mean, basically they try to, which, to be honest, he's not the best coverage guy in the world, and that's kind of like if you could mix him around and play to his strengths, which I think they found a way to do. They're blitzing him. He's coming off the edge, playing against a run. He's making a lot of tackles. He's on zone. He's able to play the flats. He's basically playing linebacker. My opinion. I mean, that's what it was. It's pretty stupid.
There were only like a few reps where they had him covered deep, which has been his Achilles heel in the past, where it's like, so he basically was playing like an extra linebacker. Like, it almost made me think like, man, is he almost a better natural or better safety or better box safety than he is a slot corner, even though it's similarities with that skill set. But I mean, if he can play like that and continue to, let the Raiders stay in nickel personnel and be good enough against the run, that's huge.
Yeah. I mean, especially if he could come and take on some guards and shows that physicality, man, that's huge. That's a big deal that for him to able to come up there and do those things and play a lot of linebacker and play in the box like that. That's a big deal. And that can help them out a lot, because then you can stay with the way the league is going and the passing and these teams playing 11 personnel, you can still stay on those packages and you can still stop the run. And, then sometimes when those teams don't play as those heavy packages like that, I mean, you're able to have some good chances to make a lot of plays in the run game, because you have somebody that can take on those wide receivers. Those wide receivers aren't going to be able to block him as well, and it's going to make a big difference. So yeah, that was good to watch. But the defensive line was a little bit disappointing of your breakdown. I mean, I saw it too. They really didn't do anything all game, so it was really exciting. You really see anybody really make plays. So Mount Kuntz did look like he should be playing a lot more snaps than Tyree Wilson or Jerry Tillery at defensive end. I don't know what they're thinking there, but maybe this is veteran type of stuff. I don't know, but Kuntz definitely showed he should be playing more.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I thought Kuntz played fairly well against the run, and there was a couple other plays that where he was getting some penetration that it didn't include, where he was a little bit kind of like Hobbs, where he knows how he's built. He knows he's not going to be going through anybody's chest, but if he can use his quickness to make guys miss every now and again, like that'll be something that can carry over from week to week. So yeah, I'm with you, man. I kind of want to see Kuntz and see what he can do with the full workload. Give him a chance to at least prove himself against the run and see what he can do. But I don't know, we'll have to see. I will say Tillery, like, he's much better against the run when he's playing end, which as to be expected. But even so, I mean, we saw him have bad gap discipline on that one play, and ends up costing the Raiders quite a few yards. So I'm kind of with you, man. I'd love to see what Kuntz can do with a bigger workload, especially if Tyree Wilson is not in shape to play, because I, again, hate to pick on the guy, but it was pretty obvious he wasn't.
He didn't do anything.
Hopefully sea level will help him out a little bit. Yeah,
hopefully, man. Hopefully being in Buffalo, being in some he didn't look good at all. So I'm not going to really no way to sugarcoat it. All right, so let's get into some offensive stuff. Offense. The who pays the bills here is the offense. They keep the lights on at Allegiant. So let's get into some offense, and we're gonna start off with the offensive line here. All right, so we start off with a little offensive line. You see Andre James and Mumford and all them boys. So start off with a little lead power. They'll be coming through fast here, guys. Lead power, which is, they call this slant lead, but this is just pure power football. Hat on a hat. But you see here, Johnson kind of missed this block here, right? So we're talking about the offensive line. Everybody, the offensive line is doing work, right? See, Mumford does a good job, right? See, Parham's getting stood up a little bit, but he's still holding his own, which kind of, we'll talk about this later on. So it's about them not getting any push. He's not getting any push here. He's not losing, but he's not getting any push, and then he's being stood up a little bit. So you could, like, what is losing, what isn't, right? And but you see, was that Van Roten and James? They're beating up on 93 right here, and you see a good block from Illuminor on 92, but Johnson ends up missing the block here.
Ducked his head
and ends up kind of blowing this play up a little bit. So you talk about the run blocking from the offensive line. We're gonna go over it. It was terrible in the red zone, but that's a different segment. All right, so here we get a little counter. They call it jab over here in the McDaniel system. So you're getting some counter here, right? And so you see some more good blocking on this one. See some down blocks here from Miller and Parham. You're getting some good movement there, even from James there too as well. So bring it back. Right, getting a lot of good movement there, but of course, Mayer doesn't have the greatest block in the world, and I think Jacobs needs to be more patient here. So we'll get here, right? You see here, if he just slows it down a little bit, get more patience, he could squeeze through here. But I think he just sees Mayer losing, and he's like, I can get out here, and I can just win.
I will say that's an improvement from Mayer from what was it, the Rams game where he just got blown up on that first play. But yeah, we still got some work to do. Still right? 2 yards in the backfield.
Exactly, because what happens is he still gets pushed back into Johnson, so Johnson can't get up to 49, right? He gets pushed back, which kind of forced Jacobs to get to bounce out. But I still think Jacobs could at least just been a little more patient and kind of just jump cut back here and get a little bit of yards. Now you probably won't get a lot of yards, anything like score a touchdown or anything like that, but it's better than getting negative. Having these guys stand around like they're cool and stuff. All right. All right, here we go. So inside zone. All right. So we're getting a little inside zone here on this one, right? So what's main difference in inside zone and duo is you open towards this gap right here. Usually it's this weak side they're playing off of, and you have the cutoffs off here. But you see they're bringing a blitz, right? Basically a run blitz off the edge here. So you see the offensive line with the work they're gonna get here. James does a good job of coming off this combo block quickly because Parham just kind of just lets him go, right? Lets him push back there. And this is what I'm talking about, the jump cut that Jacobs could do. See, he jumps cut this way, and he's able to get back upfield. He's able to get 6 yards. And that's what I was talking about he could have did on the last play. But he just reads zone so much better. He's just so much a better zone back. Right? Because he just reads it perfectly. Right? He sees it. He's able to jump, cut, jump back inside, find the hole, get 6. But you see there's still good work by the offensive line for that to even happen. So come back here. Watch Van Roten here. Van Roten here on the combo block. Move that guy totally out the way. Illuminor has a good block there. Mary, he's holding on for dear life. He's holding on. So the run game, they weren't that bad. I mean, we'll talk about it in the red zone. It's a little different, but see here, halfback draw. See the push that James, right? And Van Roten, yeah. They're getting some push. As I'm talking about Parham, though, he's not getting any push, but he's like holding his own, but he's not getting push. And you kind of see the same thing from Mumford here too on this run. So you're not a lot of yards for him to get because Parham is kind of getting stood up here a little bit, right? And you see he's like a little bit, he looks like he's a little late with his hands here. Yeah,
wide too.
Wide hands. Then he's getting stood right up like that. Zach Allen was just kind of beast him a little bit all game. It's not Allen, it's somebody else. I don't know who that is. But
yeah, I was gonna say it looked a little dark to be Allen.
You never know, man. It's there's some shade out there sometimes. All right, here we go. All right, so this one, what we got? Now we're getting a little bit of duo. This is a duo run right here. You see they're getting some good movement, but Austin Hooper gets his butt kicked, right?
Well, so see the block like off the snap, like we rewinded a little bit. He like goes and then goes right into the butt block to set the screen.
So you see Miller and Parham have a great double team. We have a great double team here. There's a hole. There's a nice little hole there, and Parham's about to come off on the 49, but there goes Hooper. So the offensive, the run blocking wasn't too. Yeah. So the offensive line wasn't really that bad in run blocking. So you see here's another one, running back power. Some people say, oh, he should go this way, but it's power run. He's supposed to follow this, right? I mean, I made sure this wasn't long trap like 8 times, Matt. I gotta tell you, I watched this. I like looked it up. So one back power, right? And you see here, I mean, Parham kind of misses the block on this one though. I mean, he's got to get more physical here, in my opinion. Get more mean here, man.
Put his shoulder down too. Did the same thing as
Johnson,
yeah, coming to the hole.
But you see it. But you see what everybody else is doing, man. It's good blocks everywhere else.
Yeah,
on this.
For sure.
Like you see, James has a great block here, right? I mean, it kind of allows Gregory to get there, but I mean, you don't worry about that, when you're kind of running these kind of plays.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, here we go. It's the same one. Kind of run the same play twice. All right, and you kind of see it. So here you get one back power again. Bring it back. And see it one more time. This time Parham does a better job on this one, getting the block. But, kind of Austin Hooper loses. Somebody gets beat up here. Somebody gets tripped. I think it's James. Yeah, it's because I think Illuminar gets beat inside here. But Zach Allen, boom. See, Zach Allen gives him a little swim. Beats him inside a little bit.
I will say Illuminor does a good job of riding his hip though to at least to recover a little bit, because he does get him at least to the center and out of the gap. Yeah,
exactly. But what it does is it frees up him, right? And allows him to make a tackle. But it's still getting about 4 or 5 yards there.
Yeah.
So, but let's get into what I got one more run. My bad. We got one more runner here before we get the pass protection. one more run. Just show it wasn't just all pretty. It wasn't just pretty daisies all day. So here you kind of get the same. Now we're getting long trap, I believe here on this one. Maybe it might still be one back power.
No, I think it's still power because know who they're trapping. Yeah, they don't trap it anyway.
He just getting his butt kicked. They just get beat up the ball here. But when you run back power so much out of the same look, sometimes these guys start jumping these things. And that's kind of what happened here.
Yeah, that's a veteran guy like Allen. He sniffed it out.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Now we get some pass protection. Now we get to the what they really did really, really well all game, which just had me a low-key shock. I was a low-key shock watching this. So here's the first one. This is a 3rd and 7 where Jimmy Garoppolo almost has a concussion. Ignore the guys downfield. Just ignore it, guys. We're watching the offensive line, okay? So you see all these beautiful blocks. Look at this pocket. It's just glorious. Look how even more glorious it gets as it goes along. How Parham just keeps beating this guy. Look how glorious it is. It's just beautiful. It's just it doesn't get any better than this. Look, this guy is halfway down the field. They're double teaming this guy. Parham is pushing this guy all the way past Garoppolo. Frank Clark has nowhere to go. Garoppolo, he could have just do what he'd do in this pocket. He could have just sat around and just went through like 800 reads. But he decided to run. Right, and then I still think he faked this a little bit. That's why he's mad. He came out. You shouldn't have did that, bro. You shouldn't have did that.
Oh, you gotta get the flag.
You gotta get that.
Gotta get the flag.
All right, so, but you gotta see that that's the theme. It's a theme here, guys. So next one, play action. Right, nice little chip block we get here on Randy Gregory, but we really don't need it. Nobody's moving. Look at this. It is great all around. Mumford even has a great block here on, I don't know who this is, but this is a good block over here by Mumford. And this is just a pristine pocket. Pristine. You just feel super comfortable. You could just make a sandwich. You don't see a whole
lot of pockets like that in the NFL.
No, you do not. Look at this. Just amazing. They were doing work, man. It was impressive to see. So here's another one. In the red zone, another great pocket here. Trying to do a stunt here. So this is what I love. They're trying to do a little end tackle stunt. So they're trying to come in and Miller just pops them. Right? And then Parham just finishes them, right? So let's go back a little bit. So they're even getting better at the stunts here. They're doing stunts and they're picking up the stunts. This is what I loved. I loved watching this because they had so much problems with this last year. And then just pop them. Parham just finishes them off. Try to do a stunt over here, James. There's nothing over here. Look at that damn pocket.
That's beautiful. Part of me wants Jimmy to just settle down and settle his feet back.
Yeah, right. Just settle down. There's nobody around you, and make up. Yeah, it was still a good throw. It still ended up being a good throw. Bayer should have caught it, but he didn't have to. He didn't have to move. He just. You didn't have to
I don't know why he's. If anything, he moves himself into pressure on that with that little sidestep. I don't think he needed to do that.
No. All right, here's another great pocket here, and this is the great recovery by Miller, right? And I think, it would have gave Garoppolo a chance to step up. I think he kind of feels it and checks it down a little bit. So let's watch this one. Play action. See, Miller gets beat a little bit. Good recovery from Miller after getting beat inside. But you know, if he wanted to like throw downfield or something like that, look at the pocket he has to step up into.
Yeah. Beautiful.
It's beautiful, man. And he does have, you know, Adams is coming, you know, of course, his dagger, you know, at the best Josh McDaniels is pissed. He had the dagger call. At the dagger call there. All right. Here's another one. This is the game winner. This is Josh Jacobs. They're blitzing. This is talking about, they picked up blitz as well too. So here they are. They're sending 6. This is the end of the game play, right? And look at Josh Jacobs. This is pickup by Josh. Boom! Look at that. Look at that, Josh. Look at that. Oh man! And look at the rest of the guys, man. Picking up this blitz. Communication. Look at Miller come off his guy right at the perfect time. This is just great to watch, man. I was watching this like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's a pretty crazy look too, and they picked it up perfectly.
Yeah, right.
Go back to pre-snap. Yeah, because you got 3 threats, and they're going to end up.
Yeah, and they're
2 threats pre-snap, and then bring a 4th and have a line game going. That's not easy to pick up.
Not at all. And they picked it up really well. And I'm gonna say he had all the time in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's fantastic. That was like some Rodney Hudson, Trent Brown looking stuff. I was confused. All right, so we'll talk about the red zone here, right? So talk about the red zone here. So we start off with the run game in the red zone. Here we go. So this one was super interesting to me. This is also about Josh Jacobs being patient and trusting the line. And I think he's always had a problem in the red zone. It's one big thing nobody like to talk about is his issues in the red zone and his issues scoring touchdowns when he can score touchdowns. Because I believe he could squeeze through here on this counter and score a touchdown if he follows.
Yeah, if he follows.
Because if Mayer can run through it, he can. That's what I was thinking.
To play devil's advocate and also kind of talk shit about Michael Mayer with Michael Mayer's blocking history, I wonder if that played a little bit of a factor in Jacobs' decision.
Probably, but you know what I mean. Like if he gets up here
right.
and just plays behind his pads, I think he could at least get to the 1 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But instead, he tries to bounce it, and you know, it ends up being a good tackle by Singleton there. So there's a little bit of issues in the run game there. Because still some good blocks here from the rest of the, you know, you get that big push, those down blocks here from Miller and Parham. You want to be able to hit that hole, man, and score a touchdown. But you know what? You know, we'll show later. Who cares? Because they do a touchdown the next play. So, so here we go. Another one here. Now we're doing some one back power on this one. You see Jacobs follow here, but you see they're kind of just getting beat a little bit more than they were before on the regular block. So you see on this one, Parham's kind of gets beat, which forces Miller to kind of beat him. Mumford doesn't really get a great block there. Kind of sees he's off balance completely, right? He's just completely off balance. He just gets ripped through, so he doesn't get any push. And then Jacobs tries to make nothing out of something, but on the back side here, you see James, he gets beat by Zach Allen. He can't hold his block, which allows Allen to come back around. So like them not getting any push though, like how they really came back to haunt them in the red zone. Because the red zone, you got to get some push because the linebackers are coming down. If you ain't get any push, those linebackers are going to roam free. So here we go, crack toss. This one, see Myers misses the block here on Bonito. He just spins off it. And then he makes that tackle easy.
Not a big fan of Colton Miller's angle there either.
Let's see.
No. Beat across his face by Singleton.
It's just the red zone. It just got ugly, man. I don't understand it. I don't know what's up with these teams. They need to get some more red zone practice or something. So here is one where I talk about Parham not getting any push. This is a perfect example. Him against 96. This is, you know, pure. We're just doing some, you know, lead power here. We're just playing power football, hat on a hat. And since he doesn't get any push, as you can see right here, it's like he actually should be getting pushed, but he's just his play strength overall is just not great, and it just allows Simmons. He can't push anything to make Simmons have to go through anything. Simmons just shoots it and forces Jacobs to kind of bounce it. He makes that play miss, but he doesn't get the chance to follow Johnson or anything.
Yeah, lucky you didn't get called for a hold there, Parham.
Yeah. All right, and here we go. Some more duo on this one, but now we're gonna watch Parham just get kind of his butt kicked completely by Zach Allen. Just complete whiff. And that's what I'm saying. It looks so much better outside the red zone, but in the red zone, it was just not clean, completely whiff. And then Jacobs trying to bounce it. Here comes Simmons. And Jacobs earned his breaking tackles of the week right there. All right, so let's get to the passing. Right, the passing is the holy grail. This is what we brought Jimmy Garoppolo in here for. Is red zone passing. This is it. Right. 100 passer rating in the red zone. So first one is this is a very pretty fade. This is awesome. Call this croc fade. I guess I can go back and explain the play. Let me just run it real quick. Just beautiful ball. Actually, and Myers is like, see, NC State over Pitt.
ACC battle, baby.
All right, so this one, I mean, you can go pick a side. Basically, you got a 1-on-1 with a rookie, not a rookie, but a second-year player, and Jacoby Myers. You could take that right on a fade. But you got backside. They're playing quarters basically here. That's why you got to get Simmons playing man-to-man on this. You kind of see Kareem Jackson kind of roaming there. So they're playing a little too high kind of look. So I mean, technically, you could also be like, hey, I got Davante Adams 1-on-1 on there because he's wide open too, touchdown. But Jacoby Myers 1-on-1, Damari Mathis. There's just so many options on this one that he could have won. But it's a great ball. Watch him real quick here. Backside. Quick, feet set. Great ball. Great catch.
The timing too. As soon as his back foot hits, ball's out.
Yeah, exactly. So here's the play we're talking about on the other side, where we showed that great pocket, and he kind of rushed it a little bit. So on this one, we're getting what they call speedo. I don't make these names. I just got sent the playbook, and that's what they call them. You talk to Josh McDaniels. So maybe he changed the name. I don't know. So we're getting the over route, and then we're getting the in, right? And then back here, I think we're getting like kind of like a in and then out route, but they bracket the hell out of this. This is where they're playing brackets here. They're inside outing him. You're gonna see Surtain. He's gonna play outside leverage completely as soon as the snap. See, he just switches to outside leverage. They're inside outing him, right? So Garoppolo starts over here, right? Not there immediately. I think he stayed on it too long to me because it's bracket, bro. Like, don't come off it. And then I think if he threw it to Myers a little earlier, maybe he would have to kind of make this kind of crazy throw where it's a little bit late and he has to kind of make it a tougher catch and more of a concentration ball. It would have just been an easier ball if he just kind of stayed right here and just threw it like now instead of just kind of rushing.
I see what you're saying.
Because the pocket's so clean, right? He can kind of just throw it.
Plus, he's got the guy doubling Renfro's got his back to him, and he's got Myers has inside positioning too, so that ball can be ripped.
Just rip that boy. No, it's because he didn't have to fade either. I mean, like, I don't know what he was thinking like on this one, because he faded and he could have just stayed in the pocket. If he just stayed in the pocket and just went to the next read, that's what I was talking about. Like, more of he was a little bit kind of in and out of the system, which is good. I know the system's really tough. It's not the West Coast, and I don't know what Scott Turner's there for because they didn't. I was watching this. So what does Scott Turner do?
No 989 this week.
No 989 this week, dog. All right. So of course a great blocking once again, but he could have just stayed in the pocket. He didn't have to kind of run around like that a little bit. All right. So here we go. Another one. So this is 2nd and 6. This is the drive in the third quarter where they had a chance to really put this game away on this drive, I believe. So, or not even put this game away, just go up and and the game ended 17-16. So
yeah, kind of was true, right? Make it less close for comfort.
Exactly. So on this one, you're getting the spot concept, what they call it diner, but spot concept, and this is levels on this side. They call it Utah. So diner, which is spot concept, spot, hitch, curl, whatever, corner, and then flat, and then you get levels is just in route and then in route here. All right. So let me run it real quick. He wants the spot, but then he's kind of late coming back to this a little bit on this side. So we'll check out how this breaks down a little bit. So like I said, they're playing quarters, or quarters, brackets on these type of coverages on the red zone the whole game, right? This is how they're playing the Raiders in the red zone, is brackets. Now, since you got these quarters brackets, you got a one-on-one here with Austin Hooper, and he's gonna have to play him one-on-one because quarters is kind of like man coverage and zones, like this zone match. There's a lot of man elements to it, so he has to play Jacoby Myers. He just can't come off of Jacoby. So once you have this, you have Kareem Jackson just one-on-one. He's boom, Austin Hooper back at the end zone. Now, you don't have to go to Austin Hooper. That's fine. You could come down here. He goes to Renfro first, but then you could come down to Adams. He's kind of late to Adams. Adams was running a very lazy route, to be fair. It's very lazy. Because he's probably thinking because to be honest, I mean, spot concept, that ball should be in the back of the end zone right here in the corner.
I'm curious, what's
Go ahead.
Myers, I feel like he kind of, I don't know, what's his route depth right here? I feel like he drifts a little bit too far. Maybe that's why he comes off it. Because, I mean, he ends at the bottom of the letters, and like that kind of invites that guy into that corner, invites Myers guy into that corner at the end zone.
Maybe. Yeah. You might have a little bit of point of that. Like, there's a little bit too much depth, because you're right. But, even then, I kind of feel like since the guy's so much on him, right? He's all over him. Yeah. That you could just put that at the back of the end zone. That's a lot of I mean, maybe if it was like Travis Hunter, I wouldn't throw that, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I hear you.
But here we go.
You put that in the back pylon, and like no one else, that guy's not getting it. But yeah,
yeah, and like I said, this is another clean pocket too. Look at Parham making a play here. Make a great block on Zach Allen.
Great recovery.
Yeah, good little bit. I mean, there's really no pressure, so you just got to move a little bit, in my opinion. Get back into the side. Right, just move. Yeah, he just kind of flicks off his back foot. All right, so this is the one. Another one. This is kind of similar to the other play, but you're kind of getting more of an over route from Jacoby Myers. And you're kind of getting the same kind of look from Hooper, and they're playing brackets. But he opens to this side. Now Adams gets upset about this one because he has his hand up. Now I kind of disagree with Adams on here. I know he thinks he should get the ball, and he has his hand up. And this would have been a great throw. This is an awesome throw. Yeah, this is fantastic. High. It would have been high. He had to catch it with two hands, get both his feet down. But that was a difficult throw, man. He needs to get his hand down, in my opinion. It's just. Yeah, I mean, and I get it.
Sitting there with Simmons sitting there right on the numbers, that's a tough throw. Like, you got to put a lot of touch on that. That's a hard
like Matthew Stafford can make that throw. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or like Aaron Rodgers, like those type of guys. But Jimmy Garoppolo's he can't make that throw. That's tough. But besides him having his hand up, I think he could have hit Wilkerson here on this underneath, and he has the time, and he's looking that way. He could have fit that in there, which he does later on with Myers, which we'll see. But then on this one, when he rolls out to his left, he tries to hit Myers here. He thinks he's gonna hit Myers in the back of the end zone. So the idea is not terrible. It's more the throw, because I don't know the trajectory of the throw. Like, you got to throw that ball where Myers can get it, nobody else can, and kick a field goal.
I feel like too, like he keeps drifting, and he's got no pressure. Like, he can set his feet and make a better throw.
Yeah,
like. He gets out of the pocket. He can set right now, and he doesn't.
Yeah. So a little bit of rough in there. It's just the clean pocket. There's just no reason to to move. Like it just doesn't get any better than this. Like this, I'm telling you, this is like some Rodney Hudson, like Greg Jackson looking stuff. Look at that, man. Look at that pocket, man. Ow. Wow, it's beautiful.
Yeah, if anything, he just needed to take like 2 side steps, and then he'd be fine.
So maybe that's what I'm saying. So maybe they saw it on film, and they go right back to this kind of like this. So the sun, it's under seam. See, I tell you, Josh Daniels is creative, man. And then they call this is Gotti, which you got the option route and then the go route. See, Gotti, go option.
There you go. I appreciate that breakdown.
So here you go. And this is easier. This is a great route. They've been running back shoulder fades on Mathis all game. So Myers sets a perfectly awesome route. Good throw from Garoppolo. Touchdown.
Beautiful.
So I mean, I think they can get better in this area, right? But you know, another great pocket.
Marcus having dreams about those pockets.
Man, this is great. All right, so yeah, it's just some great pockets there, man, and it's a great play by the offensive line overall. The offensive line was pretty stout. You saw in the red zone they kind of broke down a little bit in the run game, but they can't play much better than that, in my opinion. They could, I mean, maybe the run game you can see a couple of more things even outside of the red zone, but you know, pass protection you can't play better than that. They set up Jimmy to be able to do whatever he wanted, and you know, I think these next games, if the offensive line keeps playing like that, they got to find ways to take advantage of that and get more explosive plays. You can't have all that time back there. I think Jimmy held the ball for 2.9 seconds. It's not even like he's probably confused. I think sometimes he thought he's about to get hit. He's like, what the hell is happening? Like no, you're not getting hit, bro. Just take your time and go through your reads and find the open man. You got time in the world, bro, obviously. Because I don't think I don't know how much better the Bills pass rush is better than the Broncos, all 4. I mean, it's going to be better, but like how much better?
The Bills had 26 pressures last night against.
Oh, they did. Exactly.
Yeah. And Rousseau and Leonard Floyd had 5, and Ed Oliver had 6. So they got some good pass rushers, that's for sure. But I mean, I feel like what you're talking about, like with Jimmy G, like him not being used to like holding the ball that long, like I feel like that's part of the reason why we kept seeing him drift out of pockets, like his internal clock's thinking, I got to get the hell out of here, when he just didn't need to. But again, that's something you got to work with and got to kind of take with Jimmy G again. Hopefully, he starts getting more confidence. If they keep playing like that, like I feel like we'll see him be more confident, and you know, as he starts to get more playing time with his new teammates, that he'll hang in there a little bit longer and make some of those throws.
Yeah, because I mean that's basically what it was. And some of those is kind of him just kind of drifting, or also you could kind of tell that he was a little trying to figure out where to go with the football next. It's like, okay, I'm supposed to go here, I'm supposed to go here, I'm supposed to go here. And then so he's trying to, like, you can tell in his head he's like reading it out really slow. He's kind of getting used to that offense because Josh McDaniels, he just threw it at him, man. He didn't even he took off the training wheels. He's like, let's go. Yeah. You're like they did like a toggle is this one concept they do with where there's 2 option routes on top of each other. So the guy can either go in and out. He can do a dig or a 12-yard out or a 12-yard dig, or he can have a 12-yard in, a 5-yard in, or a 5-yard out. And they have him running that play. So week 1.
A lot of reads.
That's
yeah.
I mean, they read it right.
Where it's like he's still thinking instead of reacting. You know what I mean? Like he's still like taking that second. Like he knows what he's doing, but it's still not like second nature to him. Where like he's like thinking, I got this coverage going here and getting rid of it, which again takes time. And hopefully, as the season goes on, it gets better.
Yeah, because even on the play, I was just playing the toggle play. He was late. But I mean, yeah, because I mean, you have to read it right, and you have to kind of understand what those guys are going to do, because you don't know that yet at this point. It's hard to anticipate with some of those things. But yeah, I kind of see him getting better as the season goes along. But I just want him to stop running, because stop running when you can't figure it out, because you're gonna get hurt. Like it's just every time it's just like he like bends a certain way. Sometimes like the one time like he started running before the last play where he got the first down, he kind of like bent the wrong way. I was like, man, stop, throw it away. Stop. Yeah.
I feel every time he ran, like took off, I like flinched a little bit, like, don't do that. Especially with your history, like, but hey.
Because he's like, he can't slide. He doesn't slide right. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things that he doesn't. is nervous, and if they could play pretty good defense like they did this game, and he could be efficient, not turn the ball over, they could probably win some more games. So you kind of want him to be healthy here. So I need him to stop running. To be honest,
sounds good. We'll send the memo.
All right, guys. Any last thoughts, Matt? Any last thoughts here?
I mean, not much. I mean, biggest thing, like you're talking about, if they the pockets can hold up on Sunday against the Bills pass rush, which again got some dogs on that side.
Yeah,
and the Raiders can figure it out and find someone else. Maybe Malcolm Kuntz is that guy to get some pressure. Then I think the Raiders can have a good chance of pulling off the upset. I mean, the Bills didn't look great. Josh Allen, as great of a quarterback he is going to give you some turnovers every now and again, which the Raiders defense could use. Didn't get one last week.
Yeah.
So I think the Raiders. I feel a lot more confident, heading into this game than I did at this time last week. So, which is a good sign and that's part of it's because obviously the Bills lost to the Aaron Rodgers-less Jets.
Yeah.
But other part of it is the Raiders look good. The Raiders looked a lot better than I thought they would, and especially defensively. And I'm excited to see what a guy like Nate Hobbs if he can replicate that performance if they use him the same way.
Yeah. I thought, overall, just watching the offensive line, because even if the offense and, Jimmy Garoppolo, he's not getting on his keys yet, the offensive line keeps playing like that, it don't matter, man. He'll figure it out.
Yeah.
He'll have time. He'll have time to make a sandwich and figure out where to go with football. So, yeah. And that kind of set the tone for me, because if they can play well this year, then they can do some things. So,
gotcha. Yeah, for sure.
All right, we're out of here, guys. We went a little long today, but that's fine. I have to get you guys that film. So hit subscribe. We got Jimmy Garoppolo breakdown for the members, every single throw from Jimmy Garoppolo, so you can kind of see how his game went overall, and let us know how you feel about him. And then we get some more stuff out here too as well. Getting some, I think it's Divine Diablo. I might do some defensive stuff, maybe defensive second half, something like that. I don't know. I'll do something defensive and then get some running game out there. So we keep updated, keep all the good stuff. And then of course Friday we got the previews. Make sure you check out the gambling show as well, the live with me and Glenn. I think we did pretty good last week. We did all right. We hit the under on Adams, but the over on Myers was wrong. And I think we got the under on attempts for Garoppolo. So we did pretty good. And then, we both said the Raiders were going to win. So, it's so it wasn't that bad this week for the gambling show. And
I did say over on Myers,
35 yards.
And you took the over, right?
I took the under because I was an idiot.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, I thought you said you hit on the or missed
Glenn told them to take the over. So gotcha. If they listened to Glenn, they won. If they listened to me, they didn't. That's basically what happened with that one. Gotcha. But if they listened to us, we both told them to take the under on Adams. He didn't get over 72 yards. We had 66.
I took the over, so
yeah. Because I don't know, they did throw to him a lot more than I thought, though. I know we're going real long here, but they threw outside a lot more than I thought they would ever do. So that was interesting. Super interesting.
I think Adams still led the team in targets, right? I think Myers had more catches, but Adams got thrown out more. I mean, part of it. I can't remember when Myers went out of the game. If it was they went at the point where they were running the 4-minute offense, but yeah. I mean, Adams was still going to be a big part of the offense. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, guys. See you guys. Have a good one.
See ya.